In this video, I'm going to show you how to wire up one of my threaded E27 lamp holders. I'm actually in the middle of making up a pendant today for a customer, so I thought I'd use the opportunity to just show you how to do it. So this is a basic E27 threaded lamp holder. What that means is it's got two lock rings on the outside, so you can sandwich a shade in between, which is exactly what I'm going to be using it for. So these come in a variety of colours. This is my nickel one. I do them in like a rose gold, copper, brass, in like an antique finish. They're all the same, they're all great quality, and they all look exactly like that. They're just plated differently. So the first thing to do is take it apart. So you've got a core grip on the back. It's a compression core grip. So what that means is you've got a little jacket, metal like this, sits at the base, like so, with a thread on the inside, and that sits over a plastic compression, which will sandwich the cable in between. Always take the lock rings off as well, and I will explain why a bit later on. But trust me, you're making your life easier. So take the two lock rings off, just place them over there. Next, you just unscrew the holder itself. Now this comes in three parts. You've got the top, which is the part to which the threaded brass plated holders go onto. Then you've got the internal piece, which is basically compromises of your live, neutral and earth connections. All of the metal lamp holders like this do require an earth, which sits in the centre on the side pin, but that's effectively your ceramic terminations here. And then you've got the base of the lamp holder. Core grip goes this side, and obviously everything else lives inside. So first thing to do is you get your cable. Most of my lights go, well, the customers choose like a fabric cable. This client's picked my lovely silver grey. It's obviously just a PVC cable, 3-core, covered with a fabric. So the first thing to do is slide over the base of the core grip, like so. You're putting this on in an order, so it will all go back together in an order. It's just, again, it's just good practice, just makes it easy. Next, the internal plastic sits on next. Then the base of the lamp holder. Now the fiddly bit, you've got to basically strip the cable back and dress it. I always use Nipex, but you can use like cable strippers. Just make sure if you do that the fabric cable doesn't get caught up. So all you do is you're sliding back a little bit of the fabric, only an inch, inch and a quarter, just to expose the internal white PVC cable inside. That's protecting the three internal cores again, which we're going to get to next. So with your cutters, you just snip very gently away like the PVC, so you don't strip back too much, otherwise you'll break into the next layer of cable, which you don't want to do. That just pops off like that, and now you've got your three cores internally. You've got your neutral, which is your blue, you've got your brown, which is your live, and you've got your green and yellow, which is your earth. Now you just need to take the end of each one. Literally you're exposing 7-8 mil of the internal copper. That's what's obviously going to make the connection to the lamp holder for the continuity for the live, neutral and earth. Twist it over nice and tightly in your fingers, so as you get a nice point on the copper. That way it will go into the terminals a lot easier. Next, you just need a very small terminal screwdriver, and you're just going to loosen the screws on the ceramic internal holder. As I said, you've got one for the live, one for the neutral, one for the earth. On all E27 lamp holders, the live is always the center pin. The opposite side is the neutral, which is the blue, right? And the center, which makes to this pin here, which earths the whole metal casing, is the earth. So it doesn't matter which one you go first. I normally pick the live. That goes in that side there. Make sure you haven't got any stray strands of cable poking out, so it's all the copper is pushed inside the terminal. And then you just tighten it up nice and tight with your terminal screwdriver, so it doesn't pull back out. This is just a slightly fiddly part, but it isn't that bad. With the right tools in place, a couple of minutes. Next, the neutral. So then the live goes in one side, the neutral goes in the far other side, which is the opposite, which is the side pin here, whereas the center pin is, as I said, always the live. So do the neutral up next, and then you've just got one cable left. So by process of elimination, that's going to go into the center, because that, as I said, earths the entire lamp holder. Feed that into there like so, and you tighten him up. Now I do offer a service where I can wire these up for you as well. So if you are watching this and thinking, I'd rather someone else did this, if you haven't got a local electrician or you are planning on doing some DIY and you just want me to wire them up, contact me first, because as you purchase a lamp holder, it's sold in component form. So you have to do this yourself at home. I can wire it for you. Next, you slide up the jacket for the lamp holder. Now this has got 2 indentations, very slight dents, if you will, in the side of the casing. You have to match that up with the indentation here. It won't go in any other way. You pop that into place nicely, making sure that it's the same height all the way around the rim. If you don't get the same height continuously all the way around, when you try to put the top on, it will go on a slight angle and it will cross the thread, which is a nightmare. Next, you put the plastic, the compression part of the core grip, and there's a little square on the bottom of the lamp holder, and that just pushes into place like so. Next, and the final piece, is the base of the core grip, which just sits over the plastic, and as you tighten that up onto the thread on the lamp holder, it compresses the plastic and holds the cable in place so it's nice and safe, so you can't pull it out. Finally, and this is why I said about taking off the lock rings, because these will spin in your hand as you're trying to tighten this up. Marry that up in place like so, gently screw that over until it reaches the top like that, so that is now fully wired into place. Then you put your first lock ring on, screw it right to the top like that. Next, obviously the pendant would sit, and then the final lock ring, which obviously locks it all in place. And that is how quick and easy it is to wire up one of my lamp holders. They sit like that. As I said, I can wire them up for you if you would prefer that. It would take a couple of days longer. Normally, these lamp holders and all my cable is all in stock. So if you place an order, it would be sent out with a raw mount and would be with you in about 2 or 3 working days. If you want me to wire it up, allow an extra 3 or 4 days, because I would test it all and make sure it was all done properly for you. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to email me.